Hello. Today I'm going to show you a little bit about regression and how to use Excel. This problem is in your book. It's on page 441 in section 12.4. Sorry, it's number 12.4. And it says the marketing manager of a large supermarket chain has the business objective of using shelf space most efficiently. Toward that goal, she would like to use the shelf space to predict the sales of pet food. Data is collected from a random sample of 12 equal-sized stores with the following results. Now, I wasn't able to put the results um, all on this PowerPoint. It's a PowerPoint slide, so I'm just going to write out some of the numbers so you guys know that you're on the right example. So for store 1, she has 5 feet of shelf space, and she had $160 in sales. So the shelf space is your X, and the weekly sales would be your Y. So store 2, 5 feet of shelf space, $220 in sale. So like I said, she has 12 stores. So 12 was 20 feet of shelf space and $310 in weekly sales. So we're going to use this data to come up with a regression equation. And we're also going to figure out the correlation coefficient. Okay, so let me switch to Excel. Second. All right, so this is the information I have in Excel. I have my X values in column A and I have my Y values in column B. As you can see, there's 12 pairs of numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Excel calculate the regression equation. So you would have to go to, let me see if I can move this over so you can see what I'm doing. You have to go to data. Once you go to data, you go to data analysis all the way over here to the far right. If you don't have it, you will have to install it. Once you click on data analysis, a little box will pop up and you're going to click on regression and you're going to hit OK. My Y values are in column B, so it's B1 to B12, and my X values are in A1 column A12. So what we're going to do is we're going to use shelf space to predict how much you'll make in sales for that week. So I'm going to hit OK, and let me move this back over so you guys can see. And here's my output, it's summary output. Let me move this so you see everything. Alrighty, so these two numbers down here, where it says intercept and X variable in the row or the column that says coefficients, those will be the numbers that you will use for your regression equation. You also need to know your multiple R. That measures the strength of the relationship between these two variables. You don't need it for the regression equation. I'm just bringing that up because on your final exam, it will ask you for the relationship coefficient of this data. So I just wanted to make sure you knew where it was. It's called multiple R. So let's go ahead and write out the regression equation. We're going to use these two numbers. You have the X variable. The X variable, this number 7.4, will always come before the X. So whatever number's in that box will always come before the number X. The y-intercept will not have a variable on it. It's just the intercept. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Let's see. Just a second, it has to switch over. There we go. Okay, let me move back here. And so we're going to write out the regression equation. So it's going to be y hat. And usually when I write the regression equation, it's always the x part first and then the intercept. But you can write it either or. It doesn't make a difference. So let me find those two numbers again. It is going to be y hat equal to 7.4x plus 145. So if you remember, if you go back to that Excel output, remember this said intercept. Let me close this. This said intercept, and this number here was the x variable. All right. So the x variable is also the same as the slope. Make sure you know that the x variable is always the same as the slope. So on your final exam, it may ask you to calculate the slope. That would be the x variable. That's your slope. And another thing that I mentioned was the coefficient, relationship coefficient. Let me write this up here. Relationship coefficient. On Excel, that's going to be your multiple R. Your multiple R. All right. If we go back to our Excel, it was 0.827. 0.827. All right, so that's something that you will need to know for the final exam. Okay, hope that helps.